everyone. I'm Jessica Lee Wen, Director of Marketing at Upside Avenue. Thank you for joining us for our Upside Insights, where we check in with our investment experts and get their opinions on how we can better live our upside. Today, I have Wealth Manager Justin Arce from NWF Advisory. Justin, thank you for joining us again. How are you doing with sheltering in place and working from home?
Of course. Thank you for having me. Doing well. Definitely trying to find the bright spots through all of this. It's definitely been an adjustment, as I'm sure it has with a lot of people. One of the things that's really helped make this a lot easier of a process is that I have a puppy, 19-week-old pit bull. Her name is Pumpkin. And I think the best way to kind of joke about this is, as we put some images up here, I've got a before picture of maybe how, I've been feeling before, how she's been feeling before, and now how we're feeling after the fact that we've been through a couple of weeks of sheltering in place.
Oh, she is absolutely adorable. She's probably keeping you busy and on your toes.
Absolutely. But I prefer it that way.
Right. Well, our Upside Avenue investors and followers, they are all wondering, like, with COVID-19 and everything like that, what should they be doing with their investments? What advice can you give them?
Of course. I'll start by saying that when it comes to investing, long-term, how we make money is that we want to buy low and we want to sell high. That's the basic investment principle here. And, as I don't think a lot of people could have expected the pandemic to go through the length and severity as it has. I think it's important that during these times to, keep in mind what the goal is at hand. What is the purpose of the investment that someone has? What is their time horizon? And try to do their best job to try not to panic sell or make decisions based off of emotion, focusing only on today and not thinking about the future. So, in essence, someone wants to buy low, they want to sell high. When we go through waves of this, it depends on what someone's investment strategy is, but sometimes the best advice is to kind of just stay put.
Okay, interesting. So with events like this, when they happen, I know some of our investors are asking, should they move all their money into cash or into alternatives like gold? And when do they get back in the market? When do you think it's safe?
Very good question. And I think that's probably the most common question that I get. In hindsight, 2020, I think it would be awesome to have the knowledge as to when we're at a market high and when we're going to be at a market low. Because again, as I mentioned in the last question, what we ultimately want to do is we want to buy low and then we want to sell high. So I don't think really anyone has this knowledge. If they do, maybe they get lucky a couple of times, but I don't know that it's sustainable long-term to have that knowledge. I'm a firm believer in not trying to time the market, but it's time spent in the market. I think it's important to have a well-diversified and asset-allocated portfolio, which can have exposure to things like cash and like gold. But ideally, if someone has a well asset allocated portfolio with exposures to a lot of different things, they essentially create this seesaw of investments where at different times, part of the portfolio may be up and at other times, part of portfolios may be down. And periodically, what we can do is we can rebalance that seesaw over time. And in essence, what someone is doing is they're creating a disciplined way to sell high and to buy low by evening things out periodically.
Okay, interesting. So what are your thoughts on other alternative investments? Like, we deal with real estate. Is now a good time to invest in real estate?
Good question. So I think that long term, real estate is a great investment to have. There's only so much land out there, so there's a finite number of real estate. I think, whether it's a great time to invest in it or not is going to be dependent on the person. That goes back to what is the goal? What is the purpose of the investment? What is someone's time horizon? And what are the risks of getting into an investment. And risks can be a lot of different things. And although we know we can't eliminate risks, we can help manage them. And it's important to understand what risks we're exposing ourselves to, which that could be market risk, it could be interest rate risk, it could be liquidity risk, it could be prepayment risk, and the list goes on. And then lastly, having a good understanding of what someone is actually investing in. Not all investments are treated the same. For instance, when people think of investing in stocks, there's a lot of different types of stocks out there, and at different times it may be more opportune to invest in a energy sector stock, and at other times it might be more opportune to invest in a technology type of stock. And the same goes for real estate. I think at different times, different types of real estate investments provide different opportunities. At different times, it may be more opportunistic to invest in multifamily real estate properties. At different times, it may make more sense to invest in commercial types of properties. But at the end of the day, yes, I think real estate is a great investment. It has its place in a diversified portfolio. And as to whether it's a great time to get into it, I think it's important to take kind of the information that we discussed about today and not make blanket recommendations, but to kind of take some of this information and pair it with some personalized professional advice as to, what might make more sense at times than not.
Thank you so much, Justin, for sharing your knowledge and insights with us all the time. We appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. As for our Upside Avenue investors and followers, if this is information that you're interested in, we're going to be sharing more Upside insights in the upcoming future. So watch out for more of these types of videos. If you're interested in something that's a deeper dive, watch out for our Upside Avenue educational webinar series, where we have experts like Justin who join us and give us information on how we can better live our upside. Registration for the May one is coming up, so you can look out in your email, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn for the registration link. But again, Justin, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your information that you have here. And we hope that you stay safe during this pandemic.
Of course, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I hope everyone's doing well, staying in the highest of spirits, and thank you so much for having me, Jessica.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.